Hey guys, Redneck Mini 14 here, and today I'm going to give you my first impressions on a couple new magazines that I got for my Mini 14, and they're these Tapco 30 round magazines. These are the Gen 2s. I'm pretty sure they don't make the Gen 1s anymore, and if you ever find Tapco magazines used, make sure that they're Gen 2s. And the way that you can tell is the Gen 2s will have this little steel front strap right here for the locking mechanism. Now, the reason I got these is because I watched Nut and Fancy's review on these, and he considered these the best Mini 14 magazine in the world. And I think that's the name of the video, the best Mini 14 magazine in the world, or something along those lines. But anyway, if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's like a 20-something minute video, or maybe even longer than that, on these magazines and why he thinks they're so great. Now, the reason that you should stay away from the Gen 1s is, like I said, they don't have the steel front strap here, and that's it's all plastic, and that's a very high wear spot, and so after a while they'll break. So stay away from the Gen 1s, only get the Gen 2s. Now they come in black like this, and they also come in a flat dark earth, which is the color of the follower here. And probably the biggest reason that I got these is, number one, they are extremely cheap. I mean, I don't mean like cheap like they're cheaply made. They seem to be very well made. They're pretty tough plastic. The feed lips, for the most part, they don't flex. But these were $15 and some change on J&G sales. It was like $15.11 or something, and it's pretty similar. Similar pricing across the board, whether you go to Cheaper Than Dirt. Oh, I think Cheaper Than Dirt sells them. Midway USA, but J&G sales I think was the cheapest that I found, so I went with them. And when you compare it to this is a Ruger factory 30 round magazine for the Mini 14. It is steel. This is like $40 to $45 online, depending on who you get it from. I think through Ruger they're $50, maybe $50. But they range in prices, and I've seen them as low as $32 something from Cheaper Than Dirt. So if you want to go with a factory magazine, go to Cheaper Than Dirt, and get those ones. They're, of course, the same ones. Steel. Now, another reason I got these was because these have mostly good reviews, like 99 or whatever. It's in the 90% of reviews that I read about these are good reviews. And all the bad reviews that I read were the old reviews, like in 2010. And that's back when they had the Gen 1s, and they've since changed over to the Gen 2s. And now all the reviews that I read on these are pretty good. But I'll do my own tests on them to see if they're any good. Now, so far, my first impressions are that I really like these mags. They seem to be very good quality for the price. The only thing that I wish was different was I wish that the locking lug in the back was also metal. Actually, if I want to be totally honest, I wish that the whole top portion here was metal, so that the feed lips don't wear down, and that you can keep them loaded for extended periods of time. Because a lot of times with plastic magazines, if you keep them loaded, it puts a lot of stress on the feed lips, and they can break. But as far as wear from the gun, the bolt really doesn't touch the feed lips at all, as far as I'm aware. So wear from the gun shouldn't have any effect on them except for in the locking portions of it. Now, let's see how they lock in. Now, with a Mini 14, it's kind of weird. You gotta rock it back, and it takes some getting used to. But they seem to go in pretty well. In fact, they actually go in a lot better than my factory one. There's really no play in it, so that's good. And of course, they hold the bolt. They hold the bolt back. So let's try the other one now. Take it out, and we're going to try the other one. There we go. Like I said, these take some getting used to get in the mag well. Again, really no play. Holds the bolt open. I haven't tried to load these yet, so I don't know how well they load. But one thing to note is if you've seen my review of my Mag Lula Strip Lula, let me grab it. This little loading tool right here, it's not going to work on these. These are a little too fat for the loading tool to actually slip over the top of them. So with these, you're stuck with just using, put one round in at a time. These are really only good for metal magazines like the factory ones or the Pro Mags. Although I'll choose to stay away from the Pro Mags, at least as far as 30 rounders go. Now, just for comparison, let's see how easy the 30 rounder is to get into the gun. Try to get this on camera. I always have trouble getting this 30 rounder in my gun with the bolt closed. Now, it didn't do too bad on that time, but a lot of times I'll have to open the bolt to get it in. And again, there's very little play with the factory magazine, as is expected, and it holds the bolt open. Just set that there. Now, being that these are plastic, I don't expect them to work. I expect them to work, but I don't expect them to necessarily last as long as this. And quite honestly, that's to be expected. I mean, factory magazine should work flawlessly in any weapon, or any firearm. A factory magazine should work flawlessly, 100% of the time. It should last a long time. Whereas aftermarket magazines like this, it's kind of expected that they, every once in a while, they'll fail to feed or something. But basically, as long as these work pretty good, and I'm expecting them to work pretty good, I'll get more of these, and we'll see what my recommendations are in the future. So far, they seem to be pretty good magazines. I haven't taken them apart yet, but I assume it's just like any other magazine. You got a little thing here that you push in, and then you push the base plate out. But yeah, so far they seem to be pretty well made, and of course, only time and experience will tell. But I have faith in these magazines. Again, I don't expect them to work 100% flawlessly, but I do expect them to work, 99.9% flawlessly. And if I can get them to work just as good, then I'll definitely recommend them. And I'll probably definitely get more of them. But we shall see. Anyway, that's my kind of first impressions of the Tapco 30 round Mini 14 magazines. Stay tuned for some testing videos with these. And yeah, that's all I have for this video. Subscribe to my channel, like me on Facebook. I'm Redneck Mini 14, and until next time, be safe.